Hey guys, welcome back to Planet Coaster, and as you can see we're starting a new series. Now this series, we can just say that I started it because I have 100 subscribers now. What a crazy amount. But no really, I kind of want to do something different than Seawood Valley for a change, and I decided to make an RMC custom layout coaster, and this was like really heavily inspired by Lightning Rod, and if you've never heard of Lightning Rod, like look it up, like it's a really cool coaster. And so, speaking more about that, this is why you see my first pre-drop like this. It's kind of similar to Lightning Rod, because Lightning Rod has a pre-drop and then a real drop. I don't really take exactly that, but I messed around a little bit. So, I actually recently watched like the documentary they made on making Lightning Rod, and one of the coolest things they did is to prototype, or to make a feeling for the prototype of what the launch would feel like going uphill. They brought the people from Dollywood onto sand buggies, or sand dune buggies that they call sand rails, and they simulated the launch system when they were like going up like 900-foot sand dunes. And there was like a video of that, and it was just the coolest thing ever. Sorry, I'm gonna talk a lot about coasters, a lot of weird stuff this episode. And one of the things that they said that like I really liked that they said was like it's like part classic and it's part cutting edge, like which is like one of the coolest things about the hybrid coasters because it's completely true. So yeah, that's why I wanted to fanboy a little bit about RMC specifically, and now we're going to talk about the layout a little bit. So as you can see, I do a little bit of back and forth up on the top there, and it looks kind of weird right now. But like I said, this is going to be a terrain coaster, so I'm actually going to go ahead and delete probably this too big of a drop because it would like make the mountain like almost a sheer cliff. So yeah, I basically want to place this ride in the middle of a mountain just to get that feel. And the reason for that, or the theming behind that, is actually it's about like a Nordic like folklore tale. I think it's German, maybe, I don't know, in nature, and it's called Fenrir. So this coaster is called Fenrir because of this reason that I'm going to talk about now. So Fenrir is this legendary wolf, and what happens to him is that he's prophesied to basically eat everyone in this place called Ragnarok or something like that, and preemptively the gods chained up Fenrir and wouldn't let him leave. And he had so much pent-up rage and so much pent-up aggression for him being shackled that he broke through the first shackles. Now that's when the gods came up to him and they said, Fenrir, if you can break out of these next 3 shackles, then you are truly too powerful for us and we will let you go. And Fenrir goes, okay, that sounds good to me. And so what happens is he breaks the first one, he breaks the second one, and then they're about to put on the 3rd shackles, except it's a ribbon. So Fenrir's like, what? That if that's a magical ribbon, then like this is not okay. So what he said instead now was that if one of the people there would put their hand in his mouth, like in between his jaws, so that if it was like fake and if that ribbon wasn't real, he could like basically bite the guy's hand off. So it was basically like them giving like their assurance to Fenrir that it wasn't like an enchanted ribbon or something. And yeah, gods are not cool in this story because they make it enchanted and that guy's hand gets bitten off, so they don't care about this guy's hand, right? And now Fenrir is locked up in these magical ribbons, and I think the end of like the story was like he had so much pent-up aggression again and so much rage that he finally got like unleashed, right? And so he's finally like roaming out in the mythological world, I guess. So yeah, that's why I'm gonna name this coaster Fenrir. And I know that was probably like a really weird and like really long story, and I'm not sure if you liked it, but I thought it was like the coolest thing. I'm such a nerd. It's fine. So I hope you guys enjoyed that story about why I'm be calling this Fenrir Unbound or Fenrir Enraged. I don't know yet. But I'll probably figure it out by the time Edit Brody gets into this thing. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about the elements now. And so as you can see, after that first drop and it kind of goes up and around, It goes into like, I think it's a triple down it, and that is like completely stolen from Lightning Rod, as like it's like known for like being like one of the best elements on an RMC. So I needed to get that in. And some other things that like I really like about the RMC layouts and their elements are these things called wave curves. And now the wave curve is what I'm going to be creating after one of these little twisty parts here. Okay, you can see me starting to make it now. So it's an overbank turn, but then it like turns backwards while you're still like doing the overbank turn. I don't know exactly how to describe that, but the way RMC describes it is they call it a wave turn. A wave turn. So yeah, those are like really popular. Or not, they're not really popular, they're just like a pretty common element on an RMC and one of the better ones. So I added like, I think 3 in total of them. And then other elements that I like really like by RMC that I also added were obviously these double and triple downs. And then sort of like this 0G stall and then 0G rolls into like turns and stuff. So you can see like it's kind of that same, you're going up and then you do the turn, the 0G roll. You do kind of like a turnaround, almost like the way Mavericks does like their 0G roll into the turnaround and then back into the other one, except this is like backwards because it's going from down to up to around to down, and that's opposite of the way Maverick goes. Anyways, I kind of like mixed and mashed like a whole bunch of different elements that like honestly should be on RMCs. Like I think some of them are really interesting and like would give like the craziest feeling if you wrote this, I swear. So yeah, that's kind of like where I got all these like inspirations from, and just kind of like my own creativity. Just kind of like I wonder like what I could put here, you know. I put a 0G stall in there, and I ended up making it like really like short, and it like went way too fast through it. So I had to actually like redo that portion of the ride like a whole bunch of times. And I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking, that this is like really rough. Like look at the smoothing on that. Don't worry, I'm just gonna go back into it and do the 4-meter technique for like a long time. But it wasn't actually like a bad thing. You know, a lot of people like complain about like coaster smoothing in this game, and to them I say, just do the 4-meter technique and it's gonna be smooth every time. Like there's nothing you have to worry about. Like your layouts might not be the best, right? Your elements might not make any sense when they're put back to back, but that ride will be smooth as hell. And some people say, well, yeah, it should just be implemented in the game. I honestly don't have a problem with doing it. A lot of people do because it's really time consuming, but I just like think it's kind of like relaxing. I don't know. I must be weird or something. So now you can see me kind of making these mountains. Like I said for the 3rd time, it's going to be a terrain coaster. And one of the things I wanted to have it set at was this lake in the middle of the mountains that's going to have like a little German village. It might be fake, it might be real, I'm not sure what I want to do with it yet, but I just kind of wanted to build in that style, and Cedarwood Valley is not that style. So I just want to kind of like switch it up a little bit. So I might actually make a little German town and plaza at the bottom of the mountain. I don't know if I want to do it yet, but I'm probably going to. I might make a mini park out of this whole thing. So you can see me putting in this rapid ride, and I didn't put this in last time when I put this in for Firestorm, but which is the name might change actually. I'm not sure about that. But the last video I had with that roller coaster, that Intamin Megalite, I put this little section of river there, like next to it, and I really liked it. So I just went ahead and did the same thing as if this was a river flowing down the mountain, and I actually placed it in the correct way so it doesn't look like the river is flowing up the mountain, which I almost at the beginning you saw me start at the bottom there and then go up to top, realizing that that wouldn't have really worked out a lot. So yeah, I'm making this lake here. I'm doing a lot of terraforming this episode, and like we're not even halfway there. Like there's so much more that I have to do with it. I'll probably do a lot of it off camera. I just kind of wanted to leave this in to leave a little more time to talk about the story about Fenrir and you know, some of the interesting things I learned about Lightning Rod and stuff like that. And if you guys didn't like all the nerdgasms about roller coasters, I sincerely apologize. There's not many of you, and I hope I didn't turn anyone off by all of my stories. I'm just having a good time, as you can see, and I hope you guys like this video too. I think we're coming towards the end of this time lapse, where the rest of it is me just kind of working with all of these these mountains here. And as you can see, I kind of have a process where I will build it up and then I'll cut pieces out and then I'll kind of bring them out again to make like ridges. But this process is kind of like new to me. I don't really sculpt a lot of mountains, and I kind of want to get better at it, because there obviously are mountains in Cedarwood Valley, and this entire thing is like set on a mountain. So it's something I need to get like better at. So that's why I'm just kind of looking at different areas from down below, like what it would look like, and then I go into peep view. And if I had like $1 for every time I rode this POV to make sure it like was actually functioning and could do for now, like it was too many. I think I'm in like year like 7 or 8. Like this roller coaster is taking a lot of time, but I'm actually enjoying it a lot, and I hope you guys enjoy it too. And I'm gonna leave you guys a bonus POV and some cinematics after this. So thank you so much for listening to me rant, and I will see you guys next time.